quick, you only have 10 seconds to leave a like and subscribe to reveal the Season X live event in the background that's been leaked from the files into the game. Don't miss out, like and subscribe right now. Do you want a free Season X Battle Pass?
Yes.
Well, simply make sure you subscribe to the channel with the post notification bell turned on and comment your Epic Game ID down below, that way I can add some of you and send you the Battle Pass for free. We're also getting so close to 750,000 total subscribers, so everybody watching the video right now, if you're not subscribed, hit the big red button, and you also potentially could be the 750,000th subscriber. Want me to give away more Battle Passes, increasing everybody's odds of getting one and support me? Well, simply make sure to use code FriendlyMachine in the item shop. Let me know if you're rocking the code and your Epic Games ID down below, that way I can hook some of you guys up with some V-Bucks. So we finally know ultimately who's escaped this capsule in the Frozen in Time meteor, being the secret skin's identity truly revealed. Donald Mustard has been teasing in his bio for weeks now that Dusty is ultimately not what it seems, and many people thought because of the rift beacons this ultimately implied they were being manufactured there, but something even bigger is about to go down. Ultimately, a Blast-Off 2.0 for the live event in this season, what we previously saw for the original live event occurring at the hands of the original Visitor skin in Season 4. In today's video, we're going to be explaining ultimately how Season X is going to end and this live event, how it will occur, and ultimately the new secret skin's importance, a kind of spin-off of the Visitor considering we're seeing this mixture or kind of twist of previous Battle Pass skins this season being the Visitor Volta. Make sure you're sticking around and watching the full video today because we even have a leaked in-game showcase of the live event literally before it's activated in-game. Alright, so with that being a mouthful, to start things out in the simple forms, let's recap a bit. So obviously Fortnite are teasing this season the importance of the Visitor skin that obviously was firstly unlockable only in Season 4 as the first unlockable mystery skin. Due to the aesthetical design of the rift beacons, we ultimately thought, considering Fortnite were teasing this also, that he was responsible for obviously constructing all the rift beacons, this traditional Visitor skin, also alongside the warehouse literally being named Visitor's Warehouse upon looking in creative of where the rift beacons are traditionally being made. The fingers only pointed in one direction as to who was responsible for how and why everything is happening. The original story of the Visitor was he crash landed, not from a Frozen in Time meteor, but from one colliding into the map, with Dusty Divot being created because of it, and obviously then broke out of his cryogenic slumber, launching the rocket in Season 4 for the first ever live event. And obviously ever since his disappearance after this event, with the disappearance of the rocket and only seeing a reappearance now in the Season X trailer, who ultimately crash landed in the meteor or is about to crash land Frozen in Time, considering the original Visitor skin will still be manning the rocket in this ulterior dimension. Well, based off the fact obviously we're seeing different styles of Battle Pass skins being pulled back through time or a particular dimension, and with everything pulled back through in terms of map changes not exactly being the same but twisted throughout this ulterior dimension, it's safe to say that the Visitor skin will be meeting another of his kind. This was actually determined in the 10.30 downtime update as of yesterday, as the challenges for this secret skin were revealed as well as his identity, the Visitor Volta. And obviously as you can see, he kind of looks like the Visitor and the mech had a baby. The reason we know the Visitor Volta obviously has escaped from this capsule in the Frozen in Time meteor because of the fact, well, everything pulled back through a dimension into our map that's previously occurred is different from what it once was when it once originally happened, and for that reason this meteor will not be exactly the same as the one in Season 4, obviously not containing directly the same Visitor skin, as he is also manning the rocket as seen in the trailer still. Speaking of rockets and ultimately determining that the original Visitor is still driving or inside this original rocket in the Season X trailer, what is happening at Dusty Depot right now with these new 10.30 map changes obviously in the game, updated for everybody to hop on and even see. As previously mentioned at the start of the video, this doesn't look like any form of rift beacons are being constructed as priority, more so something even bigger, literally even exceeding the height limit of this warehouse roof. It almost seems like the new Visitor, the Visitor Volta, is ultimately trying to recreate what the Visitor once originally did and launched. A new rocket that's obviously even been leaked into the game from the files that's basically confirmed another blast-off event occurring, with the data miner Fortori being able to determine the construction and completion of a rocket at Dusty Depot, and with us not knowing ultimately why the rocket launch originally first happened and ultimately what this meant for our realm, what will a second rocket launch mean and ultimately do in terms of damage or effect on our map? As of right now, it's impossible to determine what this event will look like and ultimately conclude in-game after it happens, and obviously then progressing into the next season, but we do know it's going to be huge in terms of the storyline, considering the entire path of which the rocket followed when it was originally launched and obviously flew between dimensions in the blast-off event has been noted of by someone in the community, and obviously then was able to determine every area of which since then has been affected, and it's literally been every area of which the rocket has either travelled to or from or through. With this said, with the rocket launch ultimately determining that map changes, major ones of that would be occurring in said regions from where it travelled to and from, will this factor of effect remain the same for where the rocket launches to upon launching itself in Season X? Obviously, upon it launching, it's going to spend a little time in our realm, so I'm very curious to know as to where it travels, particularly on our Fortnite island in the sky, and whether it switches between dimensions just like we've seen in Season 4 for the original rocket launch, and ultimately what this means after it happens and the aftermath of it. As we know, characters can directly be involved in our storyline or during live events. It would be really cool to see both visitors, the Visitor Volta and the original Visitor, literally face a showdown, obviously because of their disagreement of intentions between dimensions, and finally have one of them succeed once and for all with what they want to do. This, despite being really cool, makes a lot of sense ultimately because of the fact, well, new POIs and named locations have been leaked for after when this event occurs, and believe me, there's going to be a lot of destruction, even more so, bigger of an event than the final showdown that we saw toward the end of Season 9, which we literally thought was the end of our Fortnite storyline as we know, until obviously Season X launched and we then found, well, any of the storyline prospects can come back through time at any time. With that said, as you can see on screen right now, thanks to Hypex, a data miner, we have all the names of all the new name locations or POIs. He states the following also to add to this information. What confuses me is these leaked POI names. Is the whole map going to change in this event, meaning the rocket launch or ultimately the aftermath of it, or are these for Season 11, meaning the map changes, or these name locations or POIs stated below, which start with the following: Beachy Bluffs, Camp Cod, Dirty Docks, Frenzy Farm, Holly Hedges, Lazy Lake, Mountain Meadow, Power Plant, Slurpy Swamp, Sunny Shores, Weeping Woods, and Mountain Meadows. Despite Hypex maybe making a typo and putting Mountain Meadow or Meadows twice here, we have 11 new POIs or name locations stated in this list. The most interesting thing about it, however, is the fact that obviously the next season is going to be Season 11, and he even mentioned that in the tweet. With 11 new name locations, will this mean that everything going on after the event, obviously building up an event shown in the cinematic trailer, will result in all 11 of these new name locations being implemented, considering we're going into that number, Season 11. If this is the case, it's definitely safe to say that we'll be most likely seeing a brand new map, considering, well, not only are all these new POIs or named locations literally going to change the face of Battle Royale and how it works forever, but we may even be transported to a brand new island. And obviously this is inevitable to come at some point, a brand new Battle Royale map, because Donald Mustard, an Epic Games director and high up in the company, literally confirmed this in an interview when someone was asking him questions in regards to the future of Fortnite Battle Royale all the way back in Season 2.
Okay, we've had some questions about, is there ever going to be a new map for Battle Royale? Kind of like PUBG's done with the desert map or whatever. Is there going to be something else in the future, or are you just going to kind of tool around with this one?
There will definitely be a new map at some point.
Now that you've heard it firsthand, there will definitely be a new map at some point. What better time to implement it other than the start of Season X than the start of Season 11, ultimately having the same map in that kind of decade of seasons, the first 10 and a fresh start for Season 11. Considering Season X hasn't met the expectations of even prior seasons in terms of content being added or ultimately hype around the game and, you know, people thriving off what's going to be happening in terms of the storyline, they really need to finesse, obviously, the finale to this now time-twisted set of events that obviously have been occurring for over like the last 6 seasons ever since the start of the storyline in Season 4. My personal theory is because of the fact we've seen the reappearance not only of Kevin the Cube's floating island form ultimately determining that this will be involved with the storyline at some point, but the fact we've also been confirmed to the rocket returning and being built to then launch again at Dusty Depot, that everything included throughout all prior live events will be making an appearance and contribution toward the storyline and the map changes, or ultimately the end of Season X as a whole. Ultimately, this would make sense of a new map being implemented or reinstated to Fortnite for a fresh start in Season 11, considering too much chaos obviously would result in the destruction of the entire island. Either way, with my speculation and theory out there as to what's going to be happening, I want to know yours, so let me know in the comment section down below. Do you agree with me? Do you have your own theory, and if so, let me know. If you enjoyed today's video or found it helpful in your understanding of what's going to be happening in the future of Season X, then make sure you're leaving a like on today's video. Also make sure you're subscribing to the channel with the post notification bell turned on so you never miss a future upload when I upload whatever I upload, not only in regards to future events upcoming in terms of not only storyline developments but collaborations, but also future cosmetics leaked from the files. Hopefully I can recognise you guys from remaining active in the comment section of my future videos to come, and I'm out. Have an amazing rest of your day or night wherever you are whenever you're watching. Have a good one, take it easy, and as always, peace.